Hey there, it's Kristen with K Design Co. And today I want to show you how you can add a pop-up to your website using the new app called BDOW. So BDOW is a specialized pop-up tool that is really easy to add to your site. It natively integrates with Showit and they have a free plan. So it's really the best of both worlds if you are trying to add a pop-up to your site as well as collect email addresses. You can grow your email list at the same time. So a lot of my customers and clients ask me, so how can I add a freebie to my website? So somebody puts in their email address and then I send them a PDF. So this is the perfect tool to do that with. So I want to walk you through kind of step by step how I would approach this process. So I'm using my Kimberly template as a demonstration for this video, but this process will work for any Showit website or template that you may have purchased. So the process should be smooth and easy for you no matter what website you're using on Showit. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you have your BDOW account created, and then once you have your account created, you'll be able to view your install code. Now your install code, you can literally just copy and paste it from this little box right here, and then go into your Showit account, and under your site settings tab, there's a third party tab, and you're going to want to put that BDOW site ID right here. And then once you have that in there, then just hit save and you'll be all set. So next thing you're going to want to do is to go back to your BDOW and then go ahead and click visit site, and this will pull up where you can create your forms. So in BDOW, the forms are called campaigns. So I will go ahead and click to campaign, and then if you give it just a second, sometimes it takes a minute to pop up that new campaign. Okay, so what we're wanting to do with our form is actually replace the placeholder form that is shown inside of the template here. So if I go back to my design here, you can actually do this a couple different ways. You can actually create an inline form, which would be a form that's right here on the page of your freebie landing page. The second option you could do is actually put your inline form on the Showit created pop-up, which is actually down here. Now this canvas is triggered by somebody clicking that button above that I just showed you, and you could embed your BDOW pop-up here. The third option is to actually create a BDOW pop-up, and then you don't have to do any inline embeds. And the great thing about that is that it will be a smart pop-up, which means if somebody clicks off of it or they want to close it, then the cookies associated with that and their preferences will stay no matter if they go off your site and they come back to it maybe a few days later. So that's a really nice feature of BDOW that's different and that you won't get with just native Showit pop-up. So what we're going to do actually is go back over here to our form creator, and we're going to start assigning the kind of different settings that we want to build this form. So we do want to go ahead and collect emails, so that's perfect, and then we're just kind of walk through the creation process. So for this type of feature, I think a click trigger pop-up actually works really nicely. So this will basically mean that this will pop up on the page if somebody clicks something to trigger it. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to go over here to our design. And so what I like to do with the design is find one that's as close as possible to the one I'm trying to create, and then you can just kind of tweak the styles from there. So you can look at some of these pre-made designs, so that makes it a lot easier. You don't have to create anything from scratch. Let's see, I feel like I like this one. It's pretty nice style. It's kind of small, so if you want, you can actually change the size, which I also love that too. It'll make it bigger. We could even go super big. Okay, that's perfect place to start. And then you can even adjust kind of the animation if you want to add some cool effects, which is really cool. I think we'll just leave it as the default for now. And then let's go ahead and go down to your trigger. Okay, so this is going to be where the magic happens. So once we clicked the trigger tab, you're just going to go over here to the My Trigger field. And if you double click that and actually copy it, and go over here back to your Showit page, and then I go ahead and click my button text. So in the text box where you have your button, if you click option and then double click, this is a little magic trick, you can actually paste this code right here that we got from BDOW. Okay, I'm just gonna change the text. Instead of click here, I'll just make it say download now. Just making sure you don't delete any other parts of the code. I'm gonna save that. Okay, you can see that it actually went dark, but that's just because I made it a link and my link settings are set to be the same color as the background. So I'll just make sure I wanna change that, and you can adjust these styles if you notice that happening. Okay, so I just wanna make sure that I set this up right in terms of getting the trigger correct, and then we can kind of fine tune our form from there. So now that we have our trigger all set up, you want to define what you want to happen once somebody successfully submits the form. So usually for this application that I'm showing in the demonstration, you're going to want to follow up with an email that has a PDF or a file attached to it. So what's really cool is BDOW has options for that already built in. So you can do one of 3 options if you click this add email response under the success tab. For this application, the content upgrade template is going to be just what you need. So you can update the subject line, the preview text, the from name, and then after you've got all that, you can actually click here. This is just a picture of like a little image. You can get rid of that if you don't want it, or you can just have your own type of download here link. So let's see, download now. And then you could do insert content upgrade and then upload a file, select the file, and then if you want to even like make it bold to really stand out, then all you have to do is hit save your email, and then you are all set for that follow-up email. So there's a few other options that you can do in terms of after somebody submits the form. You can also make sure you get email notifications if you want to get those to let you know that somebody has downloaded your download. And then the last thing that you can do is add them to your email list. So by default, the subscribers from this form will get added to your BDOW master email list. But let's say if you have more than 1,000 subscribers, or you want to create a email automation that follows up with several emails later on down the road, well, this is where you can actually connect a email service down here on this last little tab here. So I have mine connected to MailerLite because that's what I use. But honestly, if you're just looking for a simple single one-off email that sends to your subscriber right after they subscribe, then you don't need this email service option. This is just for if you're going a bigger list and you want a little bit more robust functionality and control over what happens after somebody submits their download. So I'm going to go ahead and hit update, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so one more thing that you're going to want to check before you implement your pop-up is that the text box or the button text that you have defined, especially if you're using this template or another template that may already have a link or click action associated with it, is that you double check that you remove those. So in the case of my template, I actually did have a native Showit pop-up form that this was originally linked to. So that's going to conflict with the embedded trigger that we use with the HTML from BDOW. So just go ahead and click off any additional click actions, or make sure the link setting is set to none. And that way you're not going to have any interactions or double pop-up forms. Okay, so now that we have that set up and we have our trigger and our form has been created, I'm going to go ahead and preview and see if this works. I'm actually going to pop this out to its own page just because I like to see it nice and big. And then let's go ahead and click our button. Wow, okay, so that was awesome. And you can see right now here, this form, you can put in your name, your email, and then hit submit my guide. Now, of course, if you want to customize this form further, you can, and really fine tune the styles, the image, and everything to match your site.